What's going on, everybody? My name is Devlin, and today I'm going to show you a game that I played not too long ago with the one and only Dr. DisRespect. Now, as you may have noticed, I actually put up a video pretty recently showing that Dr. DisRespect had added me to his friends list. And one thing that I wanted to get off my chest right away, because I thought about it after posting that video, I'm a little worried that maybe me putting that video up made me come off as cocky, or maybe that I'm bragging that, you know, I've got like friends in high places. The first thing I wanted to tell you guys right off the bat is that that wasn't my intention at all. The reason I put that video up, I actually put it up almost right after it happened, is because I had a total fanboy freak out, and I've been a big fan of Dr. DisRespect for a long time. So the fact that you know, I don't know, maybe proved myself in this game, and then we had sent some messages back and forth, and I don't know, just the fact that it happened made me really happy. I was just really excited, and I kind of wanted to share that with you guys a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. That's not my intention whatsoever. Just super stoked to have, you know, somebody that I really look up to and I really idolize, you know, want to maybe play with me in the future. I think that's a pretty big deal. I was pretty happy about it. But moving on, let me tell you a little bit about what just happened. I was just lying in bed. It's actually currently 6:29 a.m. I was lying in bed and I was trying to go to sleep. I was listening to the Kid Laser mixtape because I listen to that when I go to bed sometimes. It soothes my soul. But I had a hard time falling asleep. And the reason I had such a hard time falling asleep was because before I went to bed, I do like a sweep sometimes. I'll open up my browser and I'll go from my email to my Twitter to my Facebook, and then check YouTube for new videos and stuff like that. So I do like a quick sweep to see if there's anything that catches my eye. And while I was on Twitter, I ended up somehow looking at Wings of Redemption's Twitter. I don't know how I got there. I think I was looking at somebody who had a reply from Wings of Redemption. I just clicked over to it, and I don't know why I did it, because whenever I look at Wings of Redemption's Twitter, 9 times out of 10 I actually get kind of mad because I read things I kind of wish I didn't read. They just put me in a sort of an ugly mood. So what this commentary is going to be about, and what it was that was preventing me from falling asleep this morning, I guess. My hours are a little ridiculous, I'll admit. But what was preventing me from falling asleep was I just couldn't get the thought of like bullies off my mind. I've had a bit of a history throughout my life with bullies. I wasn't really bullied myself, and I wasn't a bully myself, but I still had a lot of run-ins and a lot of encounters, and I spent a lot of time dealing with them nonetheless, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But there's just bullies. I cannot stand bullies. I cannot stand people who physically or verbally or mentally push people around and put people down and try to make them feel small and try to make themselves feel big. Something about it really gets under my skin and really just makes me very angry. Generally, my thoughts on bullies, and you may have heard this before, you probably hear it in like after school specials, but I do honestly believe that bullies are like the biggest cowards and have the worst self-esteem and think so low of themselves, whether they'll admit it or not, that they're forced to, you know, put down people who are weaker than them. Maybe in a physical sense, maybe you have a bully at school who is twice your size and he gives you a really hard time. Chances are he's just really insecure about himself, and that makes him feel strong, makes him feel powerful, pushing around this person who's a lot smaller than he is, or she. You know, there's bullies in the fairer sex as well. And then you also get people who have a position of power, or a quasi position of power, and what that does is that puts them in this sort of unique position where they have people who might look up to them, who might respect what it is they do. And people who are in positions like that and use that power to put people down and to mistreat their fans or their followers, or whatever, whatever you would call it, whatever the case may be. People like that are also bullies, and people like that, I also believe, are pretty small people. And I don't mean small physically, I mean small as in you can't be a very big person if that's something that you do, that's something you make a habit of doing. And making a habit, even that's a stretch. I don't think you have to make a habit of it to be a bully. Even doing it, once or twice, the fact is that, you've partook in this act that is just really, really unsavory. And anyway, just moving on. Bullies, just people who will put you down physically, will put you down mentally, emotionally, for no reason other than just to do it to make themselves feel better. Now, let me talk to you about my past with bullies and how I've dealt with bullies throughout my life. I'm a pretty big guy physically. Right now, I'm about 6'2.5" in terms of my height, and I weigh about 270 pounds, and I go to the gym 3 days a week and do strength training. And I've always been a pretty big guy, and I've never had problems with bullies in terms of a physical sense. Like, I've never had somebody threaten to beat me up or really anything like that. Well, I've had people tell me they're going to kick my ass, but that wasn't really so much as them being bullies. That was just like, confrontations that happen from time to time. In terms of somebody who just picks a target and decides to bully them, I never had an issue with that. I have had issues in the past with verbal abuse from people because when I was younger and before I hit I had a period in my life where I hit like a growth spurt. And what happened was I got a lot taller really fast, but my weight didn't change at all. So what that means is before that growth spurt I was a pretty chunky guy. I was kind of fat, right? And then the growth spurt happened and it kind of like proportioned me out a little better. But I had some people who would pick on me and call me names and stuff like that when I was younger, in elementary school and even up until middle school. And then, as I said, I hit that growth spurt, and that wasn't really an issue anymore. But the majority of the time that I dealt with bullies wasn't them bullying me. It was actually I would see bullies picking on other kids, and it's not something that I can stand for, and it's not something that I can deal with. And I can't seem to make myself sit idly by. I was suspended in grade 5 because I got in a fight with a kid because he was just being a real asshole to a few people, and I stood up to him basically, and I won't lie, he kicked my ass. His name was Dwayne, and he was like the biggest kid in our little circle of grade 5. Like he was the big tough guy, and when I stood up to him and told him to basically screw off and leave these guys alone, he kind of laid a whooping on me. And what happened was I really kind of stripped him of his power in the sense that he wasn't really able to intimidate people the way he used to after that encounter, because what happened was he would put the screws to me, so to speak, and then I'd be on the ground and he'd go to walk away, and I'd get back up and give the classic, like, is that all you got, or is that the best you can do? And every time I said that, he would come back and he would do it again. He'd thwomp me again, and then I get back up over and over, and I just kept doing it until a teacher finally made their way over and split us up. And somehow, don't ask me why, I got suspended for fighting. I actually got suspended longer than he did. He got a 2-day suspension. I got a 5-day suspension for standing there and getting my ass kicked, which I still don't understand to this day. I was actually really upset about it. The school phoned. I was sitting in the living room. My mom was right there, and she picked up the phone, and she was on the phone telling me, she was like, puts the principal on hold, and she's like, you're being suspended right now for fighting. And actually, I was pretty upset about it because it just seemed like a real injustice. Like I was trying to stick up for these people, and I was trying to, trying to be the good guy, trying to be the hero here, and I got my ass kicked, and now I'm getting the suspension. It really upset me. It was kind of a big deal at that point in my life, but I got over it, and that's fine. But anyway, so what happened was this bully who had all this pull and had all this big intimidation factor, all of a sudden people just weren't so scared of him anymore, because they saw that, you know, if you stand up to them, like I'm one guy, I stood up to him, and what happened? I mean, nothing. I got smacked around a little bit, and you know, I would have, if it weren't for the fact that I was suspended, I would have been back at school the next day. I was fine, right? And especially when you're younger, and especially when you're in school, it's really, honestly, a bully, there's not much they can do to you. I mean, getting beat up hurts. I've been beat up. I've been in quite a few fights in my life, and I'm not trying to glorify fighting or anything, but I've been in quite a few fights, and I haven't won them all. I mean, I've lost fights, and I've gotten my ass whooped before, and it sucks. It sucks getting beat up, and it hurts, and you're sore for the next few days. But realistically, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be all right. And the fact is that you, by standing up to a bully, are going to do a lot more damage to them than they're going to do to you, just by damaging their reputation and damaging the sort of power they have over people, because it really honestly does strip them of that power. So yeah, my advice, I don't want to say my advice, because I don't want to say this and have somebody go and get beat up or stabbed or shanked in a parking lot and have that be on me. But what I will say is that I found the most effective thing throughout my entire life has been honestly just standing up, whether it was in elementary school in grade 5, whether it was in high school, whether even if I'm like downtown at a bar having a few drinks, if somebody's being a real asshole, you know, just tell them to cool it, tell them to calm down, you know. And the worst thing, they're not going to kill you in the middle of a bar, and and chances are they're probably not going to like follow you to the street while you hail a cab to get home. They're probably not going to do that. The worst that's going to happen is you probably get punched in the face, maybe get kicked a few times, and then the bouncers are going to take care of them, and then you're going to, you know, you're going to go on about your day, and you're going to heal up, you're going to feel better, and then by the time you're healed up, this bully is still thinking like, wow, what happened there? That was different. That was weird. And so, like I said, I won't advise that you do that. I'm not going to say that it's, you know, the best thing that you can do, but I will say that it has been what I've done for my whole life, and it's never gotten me in over my head, so to speak. It's never been something that's really, I've regretted it the next day going, oh shit, I wish I didn't like stand up to this, but I wish I didn't cause problems with this person. So yeah, that's generally what I do and how I deal with bullies. Now, the biggest bully in our community, and by our community I mean this whole YouTube Call of Duty thing, is Wings of Redemption. And I'm not trying to call Wings of Redemption out. I'm not trying to start like internet beef with this guy. You know, he's gonna do his thing, I'm gonna do my thing. That's fine. But I honestly believe that keeping them anonymous, or saying that, you know, this person is gonna remain unnamed, I don't think that's smart. Because if somebody's being a bully, if someone's being an asshole, don't be afraid to call them out. Don't be afraid to say that they're doing something wrong, because they're doing something wrong. You know, and the fact that some people will just say, you know, I'm not going to name names, it's just kind of enabling them. It's like, oh, this person's too strong or too big to take on. Like, what is Wings of Redemption? First of all, he's never going to see this video. And even if he does, what is he going to do? Ruin my YouTube career? I mean, I'll be okay, I'm sure. Like I said, the consequences of standing up to a bully and standing up for what you believe in really aren't that bad when you think about it. Like, what is he going to do? Go to Machinima? I'll never get a Machinima contract? That's okay. I'm sure I'll be fine. But Wings of Redemption, these tweets that I read and that actually were making me have problems falling asleep. Now, this may sound like nothing, but to me, it just kind of got to me. There's a guy who tweeted at him and said, and I quote, "Bro, can I play a game with you? I may not have the best kill death, but I'm a team player." Right? Obviously a fan of Wings of Redemption, just hoping to get in a couple games with him, play with somebody he looks up to. And Wings of Redemption's response to that was, "Team player is another way of saying I suck, but I try." Right? Now, when I read that, like I said, it may not seem like that big a deal, but why would you even put down this person who is clearly a fan of yours, who clearly looks up to you and respects the things you do? Like, what did he gain by saying that? Absolutely nothing. That's just another example of somebody who wants to put another person down to maybe feel better about themselves or make themselves look better to other people or look high and mighty and big. I don't know what it is, but that's the tweet that I read that actually made me have a little trouble sleeping. So you know, you might say, like I said, that's nothing, but to me it's kind of a big deal, and I don't think that treating people who look up to you like that is excusable at all, ever. So that's the end of the game. I got out most of the stuff that I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. We did lose, but I just kind of wanted to show you that game with Dr. DisRespect because I thought it was pretty cool. And that's it, guys. Hope maybe you took something useful from this, and peace out. Talk to you next time.